The movie is an excellent choice for those who believe in the darkest side of devilish beliefs. The birth of the Antichrist remains a mystery to the world, but this movie will deliver some real thought-provoking shocks about these religious beliefs. This sequel to the Omen series will leave you equally stunned with its glorifying yet horrifying scenes. The movie begins with Father Brennan meeting another priest. He has committed a serious sin. The priest asks Father Brennan to look at a picture of a girl, which Father Brennan obliges. The girl appears strange in the picture. The priest inquires if the girl was born abnormally, causing Father Brennan to drift into thoughts and flashbacks of a woman. The woman was naked with black stuff coating her eyes. Before she could act, a mysterious group of nuns started performing rituals on her. Abruptly, someone yells from her abdomen, and Father Brennan realizes he is back with the priest. As the priest is about to tell Father Brennan about the girl in the picture, a pole breaks and strikes a mirror. The priest dies when the same pole pierces his skull, splitting it in two. The scene then shifts to Rome in 1971. Protests for civil rights are happening in Rome. Sister Margaret swears to become a nun in Rome after coming from the United States. She swears in front of everyone to always remain a nun. Margaret is taken by two priests who work in a shelter, one of whom is Cardinal Lawrence. He is delighted to see Margaret. At the shelter, Margaret sees most of the girls live there. Two sisters meet her and take her to her room. She then meets Carlita, who has an odd demeanor. Carlita's strange behavior is evident in the scary drawing she made, depicting a girl screaming on a bed surrounded by nuns. Carlita's behavior becomes even weirder when she begins kissing Margaret while standing. Although the sisters have saved her, Carlita is clearly not normal. Margaret tries to mingle with her new friends and greets her roommates. One of her roommates is a rebel who sneaks out of the orphanage at night. Although she knows the rules of being a nun, she can't stop herself from dreaming of another life. In other words, she enjoys life and parties. Soon, Margaret starts loving her life there. However, strange things continue to happen to her every day. In this orphanage, she experiences bizarre dreams. Margaret thinks the ghosts or things she used to see here are just her imagination. While living here, she learns the local language and habits and gets along well with the kids. She notices that Carlita, her new friend from the first day, doesn't get along with the other girls and is often locked in her room. Carlita is kept away from others for treatment because she has bad habits like calling names and seeing things, making people think she's mentally unstable. Margaret learns all this from Carlita's friends and is shocked to find out that Carlita is 12 years old but looks like an adult. Margaret's roommate insists they go to a party, and she gets ready in a super hot outfit. They have a good time, and Margaret has her first drink. After drinking, she dances with a boy and tries to lick his face, like Carlita did, before passing out. When she wakes up in bed, she's scared by what happened, but her friend assures her nothing bad happened and she was safely brought back to the room. Margaret feels guilty about drinking and apologizes for her mistakes. She meets Father Brennan away from the orphanage, and he warns her not to trust the girls she lives with and to avoid Carlita. He asks about Sienna, a girl from a shelter, and Margaret remembers that Sienna isn't real but knows Carlita drew Sienna in a drawing. Confused, she keeps Father Brennan's calling card. Despite his warning, Margaret gets closer to Carlita, feeling sorry for her. She sees that Carlita doesn't talk to the charity nuns and her room is always dark and scary. Carlita confides in Margaret about seeing scary things during meetings, and Margaret tries to calm her, saying that these scary flashbacks haunt her too, but they always end. Carlita feels warmth and closure with Margaret. As they talk, they hear many crying voices in the orphanage. Suddenly, Margaret sees a girl giving birth, but instead of a child, a demon's hand emerges from her body, causing Margaret to faint from fear. She also wonders who the fathers of the boys are if all the girls in the home are single. Terrified by everything, she goes to see the priest, Cardinal Lawrence. She doesn't get straight answers, but she is still trying to find the truth. Later, she goes to the backyard of the home, where the girls are playing with the nuns. It is strange that the nuns and kids openly smoke cigarettes. She sees a lady talking secretly to Carlita and drawing something for her. When Margaret approaches Carlita, she sees the drawing, which shows a girl carrying a child surrounded by nuns. This drawing worsens things for Carlita when a sister forbids her to talk to Margaret, but kisses her on the face. No one sees the kiss, and it doesn't seem awkward. The same sister then pours gasoline on herself on the roof and laughs creepily at Margaret and Carlita. "This is for both of you," she says before burning to death, causing chaos. Even Carlita and Margaret are saddened by this event. Margaret remembers that Father Brennan warned her to be careful after seeing so many strange things at the shelter. To solve the orphanage riddle, she goes to see Father Brennan. The priest tells Margaret to stay away from Carlita because she is the Antichrist, meaning she doesn't believe in Jesus and is a threat to their religion. He explains that the church and school have been secular for a long time and that there is a threat to destroy Christianity. He gives Margaret the same picture from the beginning of the movie and shares facts about Sienna. He mentions a priest from the start of the movie who wanted to tell Father Brennan about a strange boy, but was shot before he could reveal much. Although Father Brennan knows little about the mysterious boy, he insists Margaret investigate Sienna to stop their sinister plans. Father Brennan wants her help. Margaret did not believe what Father Brennan said. Still, she made a promise to Father Brennan. She agreed to do what Father Brennan asked because she wanted to know Carlita's past. The next day, while on a field trip with all the kids, Margaret asked the new charity priest about Carlita. The priest didn't know much about her past when she was asked about it. The sisters were asked to keep an eye on Margaret. They were always watching, so they couldn't talk. Carlita hid in a room when these people came back to the orphanage. Margaret asked her about her life. Margaret followed her and saw that Carlita had the sister's soul, or the ghost of the sister who died in front of them with the gasoline and hanging. She was scared to see this. When she screamed, another sister took her away. The civil rights movement in Rome was getting stronger. Outside, there were riots. There were fires everywhere. Margaret put their home in danger due to her chasing the truth. She also didn't want to stay, so she rushed out. She was pulled from behind after leaving the shelter. We didn't see anyone there. Someone from behind was pulling her. Only the nun who works with the children could feel the devilish entity. After a sister meeting, this sister told Margaret to leave the home. She was forbidden to get near Carlita ever again. You can't swear like a nun because you lack mental health. Margaret was furious with her sister and told her, "You're hurting Carlita, not me." She was very angry when she left the shelter again and suddenly saw the boy she danced with in the club. She was super scared of him and frequently asked him, "What happened to me that night? Did I hurt you?" The boy didn't care about her and told her to find the devil mark. In the meantime, he died in a terrible accident. He seemed killed by an invisible devilish power. Margaret got mad, so she went to church to ask God to forgive her. She was there to take vows for the sister. But today, one of her mates was becoming a nun. While everyone was busy, Margaret sneaked into the orphanage's secret room to get Sienna's files. The same file that Father Brennan told her to bring. But 14 Sienna files were found. Father Brennan sought Margaret's help, but she was skeptical about his claims. Despite her doubts, she promised to assist him because she wanted to uncover Carlita's past. To her surprise, she found 14 files instead of one. The nuns and cardinal she trusted at her Roman orphanage helped the animalistic monster sexually attack her. All transpired on a club and party night. It was pre-planned, and she was the daughter of the movie's opening mother. For giving birth to its Antichrist, the church has punished countless girls because they seek to scare people into religion. Clarita was tested to give birth to their Antichrist, but Margaret was older and would work better. She is the Antichrist mother and taken to the orphanage strategically. Margaret gives birth in these conditions. After having twins, a boy and a girl, the orphanage sister orders her followers to burn down Margaret's and her daughter's home. They take her son Damien, whom Margaret couldn't kill, to Washington, D.C., and give him to the family they bullied into adopting him. They chose an affluent family to raise their Antichrist. The first Omen's climactic twist saves Margaret and her kid from the flames. After 5 years, Father Brennan finds them and reveals their calm life with their savior Carlita, another of the church's planned offspring and probable Antichrist mother. At the funeral of his adopted parents with the president and first lady, the evil church faction fulfilled their purpose. If you like this movie, then don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.